Hey, I finally got a PSA order back. 30 cards, post or pre 95. We sent these in as part of their July promotion. I also got the 51 card order, which is the post 96. That'll be the next video, but hopefully you enjoy this one. I was gonna give you some description about the grades, but you know what? Judge for yourself, and we'll discuss in the comments. All right, here we go, as promised. I have two PSA boxes. These are their new boxes that, I don't know if I love how they open. I'll be honest with you. Well, there you go. I really don't like how they open. Because then what happens here is they fall over and don't really provide a hell of a background. That's a shame. You would think they'd want to see their... All right, screw that. And naturally, these cards were jumbled up. I really don't know how the hell they do their control checking, but this is a 30 card order from, I guess, these are cards from 1995 and prior. And if you know me, right, you know, there's a lot of 1980s stuff in here, mid to late 80s. These both happen to be 87. Let's go through them. Let's check out the bad one first. Not bad one, but you know, this guy got a do not holder. It's miscut. This kind of pisses me off because I was hoping this was going to get holstered, graded. It's in beautiful condition. I'm gonna have to really take a close look at it, close measuring, and see if I agree that this is miscut. If not, we'll just throw it right back into the next order that I put through. Following the lead of Elite Co 3, or maybe I'll send it to SGC, even though there's very little value that I have for them. All right, let's check it. Let's start with the, and like I said, these are out of order completely because they've jumbled the hell out of this, and which is pretty annoying, but par for the course. 1987 Michael Jordan Fleer in a 7, not bad. I think that's fairly graded. This was the one I had from the childhood collection, and just wanted to get that graded. That'll end up going to 4 Sharp Corners. I have no interest in keeping that card. Ken Dryden, 1975 Topps. This surprised me. We're gonna probably do an autopsy on this guy, and probably do an autopsy on this guy, because both of these grades surprised me a bit. I think when you look closer, as I did, at least on the Ken Dryden, I want to say there was a pretty bad surface issue, but I'm not seeing it right now. So I think we got to do a card autopsy on that one, because I thought that deserved at least a 7, if not an 8. This Gretzky O-Pee-Chee leaders, again, not sure really what happened here. There's a little, what appears to be a surface issue there, but I can't tell. It almost looks like it's on the case. And, you know, frankly, this was disappointing. So we'll take a closer look at those too. 1984 Topps, Wayne Gretzky. This got a 7. I think that's fair given the, you know, how off center this thing is. I don't know. It is what it is. I have 3 of these Wayne Gretzky's from 1986. I wish I had them close together because, oh, there we go. All right, they're relatively close together. This is how they, oh man, this is how they pack them. 1 got an 8, 2 got an 8, 3 got an 8. How about that? Well, you know, I think the grading on these 3 were fair. What I've noticed about these cards, and it shows up in the slab a lot better, is the edges definitely are not worthy of higher grades in most cases. In a lot of these, I was I thought there were 9s. I thought I would get a few more 9s than I did, at least certainly on the Gretzky's. Speaking of 9s, here's a Mike Bossy All-Star. This came back a 9. That's always good to see. This is, again, going back and forth, 1984 tops. Here we go with 1986 tops again. Patrick Waugh rookie. Both, remember I had done a few videos on these, kind of asking the community, should I send them in? What grades would we expect? I think even though we have like a print dot here, right? And the print dot here, since most of the Patrick Waugh cards have that, I think the consensus was these would come back 8s and they would be worth sending in at, not at the whatever $30 level it was, but when prices came down. So we did, nailed it, 2 8s. That makes sense. Here's my 1984 top Steve Yzerman rookie. This actually surprised me. So this is from my childhood collection. I thought this was pretty well off center that it would max out at a 6, but it maxed out at an 8. There we go. Score 1 for the good guys. 1984 O-Pee-Chee, Dennis Potvin in a 10. Yeah. It proves that you can still send in cards from years ago and get perfect grades, although it's pretty rare. But this one was, I mean, the back is just a touch off center, but when you look at the front, I mean, this was, yeah, well, nearly perfect. So I guess PSA agreed. Here's a 1970 Broadway Joe Namath Super Glossy. That's a fun card. X-Men 6. You know, there's definitely an issue along the bottom edge and in this sort of rounded corner that you can kind of see it. I buy it, and then there's, you know, the back's not perfectly colored. All right, so I can buy that that's maybe deserved a 6. All right, 1987 Topps Football. These I thought I had 9s, and I was hoping that maybe we'd squeak a 10 out of one of these. Here's a Jim Kelly, 8. Randall Cunningham, 8. Herschel Walker, 8. Now you know why the 10s on these sell for so much. Because they're really hard to get. These were I had like 5 or 6 of these each. These are the best ones I had. I don't know if you can kind of see the bottom edge is where I, you know, have some issues here and there. And in the case of the Kelly, that top corner's not perfect. So, you know, I think they're fair. I think the grades are fair. Steve Young, the quest continues. There's a 7. No matter what I do with this thing, it's just so hard to get these in a high grade. My quest. Dan Marino in an 8, the 86 Topps. I'm gonna let's hold off on the Derek Jeter guy here, because we're still in 86 Topps. Here's a Mark Bavaro. I thought this one was a 9, hoping for a 10, but, you know, there's a little quarter issue, and, you know, the bottom edges did me in again. Here's a 1986 Topps Joe Montana in an 8. And a 1986 Topps Walter Payton in a 7. So, you know, the 86 Topps did okay. They're just so hard to do. And I think other than a couple of Steve Youngs or one more Steve Young that I have in the collection, I think I'm done trying to grade those and do any better than a 7. Better than an 8, excuse me. Here's 2 1985 7-Eleven Mario Lemieux, Mike Bullard. I'm going to call them rookie cards, 7-Eleven credit cards. I got 1 8 and 1 9. No, I think the 8, there was, I looked at it a little closer. The 8 had the surface, or the edges, definitely not as good as the one that was 9. Here's another 84 Topps Wayne Gretzky in a 7 in his All-Star. Oh, here's another 86 Topps. 86 Topps John Elway in an 8.5. Holy crap, that's pretty impressive. This card is so hard to get top grades on. It's a Derek Jeter 1993 Topps draft pick in a 9. This card is now worth 30 bucks maybe? I don't know. It's amazing how far the values have fallen. Here's an 84 Topps Joe Montana in an 8. You know, I think the 80s cards that I have that are still in boxes, you know, I think for the most part, they're 8s. And yeah, as long as grading keeps getting cheaper, it'll make sense to grade them. So here I've got 2 Mike Bossy rookies coming at you. Both pretty beautiful and both in an 8. You're noticing a pattern. 1978 Topps in an 8. The backs on these things are always off-centered. This guy on the left, just a touch better than the one on the right, but I've never seen one that has, I literally have never seen one of these cards that has a back that's better centered than this. It's just how the sheets were made. Hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you again for another reveal shortly.